Hello there, and welcome to the world of Pokemon. My name is Professor Jacob, and thank you so much for attending my lecture on Pokemon biology. Joining me here in the classroom today, as he always does, is my wonderful teaching assistant, Mr. Curtis. Please say hello to everybody, Mr. Curtis.
Oh, thank you, Professor. Thank you. I just finished getting all the ground-in cookie crumbs out of the floor. Let me tell you what, it has been a week of scrubbing. The principal would, scrubbing and scraping and vacuuming. The principal would.
Whoa, this is a hardwood floor.
That's
you
right.
Just sweep it up. It should be done like that.
You listen. Perry sprayed some water around. It got mushy, got down into the cracks. It has been.
There's a lot of stomping.
And the principal only gave me a toothbrush, so it was just a mess.
The principal really doesn't like you. Mr. Curtis is, of course, referencing the cookie party that we had to celebrate our reviews on Flapple Podcast, which, again, thank you so much out there, students, for taking the initiative. Going ahead and letting the world know how wonderful Pokemon biology is. We truly, truly appreciate it. You know who else appreciates it very, very much? It's our trainer in training, Corbin. Say hello to everybody, Corbin.
No,
are you okay?
Hey, Corbin, get it together. We're in class now. This is the professor's time.
Curtis, I'm clearly sick, okay? I'm not feeling well, all right?
Leave your sickness at the door.
No, listen.
When you come in my classroom, you're healthy.
As the I wish that were the case, Professor. Listen, as the professor just stated, listeners, students, we celebrated well, they're listeners too. They're students and listeners, okay? Listen. Now you listen, Professor. You're a listener now. You're listening to me.
I'm a listener.
We hit 15 ratings
Look at me.
on Flapple Podcast.
I am the listener now.
Mm-hmm. You are. We had 15 ratings on Flapple Podcast, and it was a great achievement. And we had a cookie party that lasted way into the late night last week, and it was a good time. So much fun to be had. At one point, I think Mr. Curtis forgot which was the Psyduck pinata and which wasn't, because I think Mr. Curtis did actually smack Perry the Psyduck once or twice with the stick, if I remember correctly.
I mean, he was asking for it by bringing
it was
in
Perry's fault.
That looks exactly like himself. Of course,
Perry's the one that made. He's the one that made the pinata look exactly like himself.
Everybody's getting tipsy off of cookie fumes.
Well, that's I'm trying to get to.
Perry did step up on the desk and yell, "Hit the pinata!" So I mean, what was I supposed to do?
He doesn't.
Is that what he said? He got up on the desk and yelled Psyduck, Mr.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he was obviously yelling at me to hit the pinata. So that's how I had to respond.
Okay, all right. Listen. That's all after hours. That's all off the record fun. But you know what? On the record is me about to vomit. I had way too many cookies. All right, my mom made 5 dozen of them. Yeah. I had 4 dozen. I had 4 dozen myself, and I am telling you, I am still feeling sick. Now, it's been a week.
I was gonna say that was a full week ago.
Yep, I'm still feeling it.
Now, can I just say I admire your commitment to come to class when you're clearly dealing with some serious food poisoning here that would make me think maybe you're gluten intolerant. Did your mother use real wheat in that or flour?
I don't know what she used. I think it just had too many. They're not bad. I had 4 dozen of the 5 dozen myself, and I just
still a week, Corbin. It's been a week. It should have left your system one way or the other, either from the top or from the bottom.
I mean, it's... Just give me a bucket just in case.
Yeah,
give me a bucket.
Here. I actually have a bucket. I keep a bucket behind the desk just in case.
I will be quiet as possible and keep my moaning and guttural noises to myself throughout the lesson, but if I happen to... I'll keep quiet as much as I can. Okay. I'm not going to let anything come up, I promise.
While we seem so focused on last lesson, I think it's... does anybody remember who we talked about last time?
Oh, Poliwhirl, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Poliwhirl. And that means that today we're learning about...
Toad?
No, it was the other one. It was Poliwrath.
So, okay, yes, you bring up a very good point, though, Corbin. Yes, there is... So, Poliwhirl can evolve into 2 different things. It can either evolve into a Poliwrath by use of a Water Stone, or it can evolve into a Politoad by giving it a King's Rock and then, like, giving it to your friend real quick for a second. I don't really know why that part of the process is necessary, but it needs that kind of, like, I guess
it's the power of friendship
act of
that evolves that
selflessness,
Pokemon.
that kind of, like, act of selflessness to really, like, you know, get
Of
it
course.
to evolve. But no, we are learning about Poliwrath today. So I actually was able to get my hands onto a Wonderstone, and I was able to evolve our lovely Blub into a Poliwrath. Is everybody excited to get a look at her?
I'm
right.
ready to.
I'm ready to see
yeah, I'm
Blub.
ready to see it. Yep. Mhm.
All right. Well, here she is.
Blub, you are looking even bigger and better than
Did
last
you
time.
That's the same Pokemon as last week. That's a
No.
Poliwhirl, buddy.
No.
Look,
here.
Clearly, Poliwhirl and Poliwrath are extremely different. Mr. Curtis, could you please illuminate our poor trainer in training here?
Yes, please. Blub, if you wouldn't mind. Can I have another handshake, please? Those. Ooh. Yeah, a little more aggressive this time.
Bigger hand.
Oh, she's
Watch.
Oh my
watch.
goodness, she literally lifted Mr. Curtis up by his arm.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh! All right, Blub.
Not
Yep.
even trying.
Oh,
Holy crap.
Blub.
Okay. Well,
Okay, you can put me
visually
down
might
now.
be similar, but she's a lot stronger now.
That's right. And then watch here. See how I can link fingers. See. Yep. No.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I do
Wow,
have to.
your fingers. You know, now that you mention it, your fingers are really long, Mr. Curtis.
That's
And your
right.
fingernails too, dude. Do you not have clippers at your house?
It's better for grip. Anyway.
Oh,
I-
God.
Getting a hold of those spinneracs.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, but see, look. Yep, we've got some fingers. She's obviously much stronger.
Much stronger.
And
a little bit angrier, I guess.
So stronger and fingers. Okay.
Blub angry? Never. She's a sweetheart.
Well, she just
But-
looks angry.
But
She looks a little bit more
a
fierce.
lot more determined. That's
fierce,
true.
yeah, fierce and determined. Yes, exactly.
And this is a very, very small difference, but the white part of the stomach is bigger than it was before in ratio to the black spiral.
and not quite circular.
It's not. It's weird. It's like bean shaped almost now.
And
Bean
I
shape.
think I should mention that we talked a lot last time about the fact that Poliwhirl doesn't have a mouth. Now, we may have been wrong in that, and the top of that white part might actually be its mouth.
yeah,
I
it probably is. I'm not about to stick my finger there though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try it. I'm not gonna, listen, we gotta respect Blub's privacy here. Listen, this is the main thing about Poliwrath, is it's strong, right? It's got
Yeah.
muscles for days. In fact, it's almost 100%
Muscle.
the
Moist
percentage,
muscle.
The percentage of body fat is near zero. All right.
Mm.
Okay.
It's super strong, incredible endurance, can swim near endlessly.
I can
which
relate
we'll
to
learn.
all of this. Yes.
I don't know. You want to do a quick arm wrestle with Blub to see who comes out on top?
Corbin,
here's
no,
the thing. I
no,
know that
you
I'm
do not
strong
want that.
for a 10-year-old boy, but I know my limits, and I really don't want my arm ripped off by that thing.
And you're
I
feeling
do
like a
have to
thing.
say,
Thing.
while I might have at first glance said, "Hey, it's not a big deal that Poliwrath looks the same as Poliwhirl," you know what that tells me? That tells me that it reached peak evolution at its second stage.
Well,
It just
no,
got
it's like-
stronger. That's it.
You're looking at peak evolution right here.
There was, this is right. Listen, you may not like it, but this is what peak evolution looks like. All right, Corbin.
This is
Curtis,
Blub
why are
right
you
here.
pointing at the professor?
That's right, right there,
No.
Oh my
right there.
goodness.
right there
my
in
God.
his.
Sometimes people do say I am the evolved form of other professors. Sometimes that
Oh,
has been
no one
said.
says that.
It
You
has been
say
said.
that
Other people have
yourself.
said it.
Right
Other
there in
people have
his
said it.
big
No,
rubber
no one has
gloves
said
and
that.
overalls.
I may have said it, and then other people repeated it incredulously, being like, "Wait, did you
Just
say
Mr.
that?"
Curtis. Just Mr. Curtis has repeated it. That
Well,
doesn't
no.
count.
I said, I'm the evolved form of other professors, and they'll say something like, "You're the evolved form of other professors," and I'll take that to mean as that they are agreeing with me.
I don't think that's what that means, but
that's
anyways,
what it means.
continue. Continue
All
with
right,
the class.
okay, let's go ahead and put Blub back into our Pokeball.
Bye,
See you
Blubby
again,
girl.
Blub. Goodbye,
I'll miss
Blub.
you.
Okay, I am super excited to talk about these Pokedex entries, so hey, let's get into it.
Let's do it. Let's jump in. Let's roll out. Let's ball in.
Mm-hmm.
Ball it, sure, yeah.
I don't know what that
I'm
last
balling
is.
in class.
Okay,
I'm
you see
ready.
all of them.
Yeah, but you know what? You felt it and you went with it, and I like that. All right, starting with the Kanto region. The first one says, an adept swimmer at both the front crawl and the breaststroke. It easily overtakes the best human swimmers.
Oh, so it swims the same way as humans do, eh?
Well, it uses some clearly, like, they're named, right? So the front crawl and the breaststroke. Now, I think I know what the breaststroke is. It's like, you're moving both of your hands at the same time. Is the front crawl when you're, like, on your belly and you're moving? I don't swim.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
think
also
that's
known as freestyle.
Freestyle. I was gonna say it's another word for freestyle. Yeah.
Is it? Is that
Yeah.
is that freestyle?
Yeah,
I thought
think
freestyle
so.
meant you can swim however you want.
No.
It's
No.
like
No,
you
of course
spin
not.
your arms in a windmill pattern and flip or kick
And
your
like
legs.
you turn your head every so often to catch your breath.
Listen to me.
Alright, so
Listen. I know the swim strokes. I've been swimming since I was a little boy. You know what? I get it.
Yeah.
It's not the freestyle that you're thinking of. You don't just freestyle, do whatever you want. The freestyle is also the crawl one, the front crawl.
Really? That seems weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. The next one here says it swims powerfully using all of the muscles in its body. It can even overtake champion swimmers. Now, do you guys remember there may have been a Pokemon that kind of had its Pokedex entries had a similar kind of vibe?
Golduck.
to it? Golduck, yes. It had
That's
a
right.
weird fascination on how Golduck is a better swimmer than even the best human swimmers, which to me seems obvious because it's a Pokemon that spends most of its life in water. Right? The same for Poliwrath, right?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah, of course it can swim better than humans. It lives mostly in the water.
Of course. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
The last one, I don't know why the Pokedex needs to point that out. And like
Feels the
almost
need to
every
say
single
that.
one
It's
does. All right, the next one says, a strong swimmer. It is faster than a human champ in an individual medley. All right, what does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't-
What's an
what is that?
individual
What is-
medley?
Individual
I don't know.
medley.
Yeah,
Like a
is
vegetable
that-
medley or something? Like what does that mean?
Here, let me just bring out my Rotom laptop.
Type in vegetable medley and see what comes up. I'm getting hungry. You guys want vegetable medleys for lunch today?
I've been hungry this whole time. Medley is a combination of 4 different swimming styles: backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. Okay, so you were right about the freestyle, and that
I usually am.
your grades would say otherwise, Corbin.
Oh, I believe I did better than Curtis last week. Let's just say that.
Let's not bring that. Mr. Curtis had a long talk with me after the lesson. All right, I'm gonna rehash that.
A lot of groveling. I heard it from the hallway.
So it seems like what I thought was the freestyle is actually an individual medley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is that? Just splashing around like a madman?
No,
it's a
I just
combination of-
said it's a combination of 4 different.
Oh, it's
swimming
a
styles.
combination. Okay.
Backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly, and freestyle. That's
All at once. All at once.
all at once. No.
Oh.
Like you go down doing the backstroke, you come up using the
Okay.
breaststroke,
Oh.
go back down using the butterfly, come up doing the freestyle.
And you do it all while eating a plate of vegetables. The veggie medley. I love
No,
it.
there's
right.
no food involved. Because remember, you should not swim less than an hour after you eat, because then you'll get cramps and get eaten by a Sharpedo.
That's right.
That's awful.
Yeah, I know. It's horrible. It's happened to many of my students.
Wait, what? I'm sorry?
Me too, Corbin. Me too. All right, let's move on to the Johto region. This strong and skilled swimmer is even capable of crossing the Pacific Ocean just by kicking.
Nice.
okay.
Just by
Yeah,
kicking. Wow.
Now, which one is the
It's-
Pacific Ocean?
No, the Pacific Ocean. I don't
The
know.
Pacific, Curtis.
Again, I'm not a geologist.
No, geologist is rocks. That's rocks.
Geographist. A geography dude. So
oh my God.
I don't.
You realize how dumb you sound? It's geographologist.
Sorry, I'm not a geographichologist. So I don't know
There you
where the
go.
Pacific Ocean is. But I do know that the feat of being able to swim across an ocean is something that also a Raticate could do. So I guess, maybe don't be so proud of that, Poliwrath.
But it's got to use all 4 of its limbs. It can't do it with just its back legs.
You're right. Poliwrath can do it just by kicking. All right, the next one says, although an energetic, skilled swimmer that uses all of its muscles, it lives on dry land. All right.
Oh.
Okay.
So Poliwhirl lived in the water, but it occasionally would come up to dry land. However, Poliwrath lives on dry land, and it occasionally goes into water.
One of the reasons why Poliwhirl stayed in the water was to be safe, but Poliwrath ain't afraid of nothing. He's gonna be gonna chill out on the dry land and just take whatever comes at it.
That's right.
Willingly, gladly.
Willingly, with a smile on its face.
Well, I mean, its mouth is pretty imperceivable, so it'd be hard to...
Okay. Well, with a spiral on its belly. There we go.
A slowly undulating spiral on its belly. Probably.
Oh,
Although,
yeah.
I don't know if Poliwrath's spiral is subtly undulating. I don't know.
Well, let's keep reading and find out.
Okay. All right. The last one here from the Johto region says, it can use its well-developed arms and legs to run... Whoa. Okay,
Whoa,
sorry.
what?
It can use its well-developed arms and legs to run on the surface of water for a split second.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I don't know, like, how would its muscles...
It's quick. It's just fast, man.
I guess so. It's quick enough to run on the top of water for a brief second, I guess.
Well, hot diggity damn.
That's pretty
this
impressive.
Thing can run pretty quickly. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah. Okay, but that does it for the Johto region. Let's move on to the Hoenn region. The first one here says, Poliwrath's highly developed brawny muscles never grow fatigued. However much it exercises. It is so tirelessly strong, this Pokemon can swim back and forth across the Pacific Ocean without effort.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Dude, if I didn't know any better, I would say that this is a fighting type Pokemon, not water. That's crazy.
It is, okay, so it's a water and fighting type Pokemon, so...
There you go.
Oh, what a surprise.
Yes,
I'm right again.
I know. You are right this time, yes. And this is I guess the second time in a row that you're correct.
I can't stop being right today. It feels good. It's a good feeling.
Can't stop, won't stop.
I
All
won't.
right, the last one here from the Hoenn region says, an adept swimmer. It knows the front crawl, butterfly, and more.
Way more that we won't list.
And we won't list. I can learn more. I mean, why would you need to know like everything in this Pokedex entry? And it finishes by saying, it is faster than the best human swimmers. Duh.
Yeah.
I mean, duh. It's all muscle. Of course it can.
But is it better than a gold duck? Probably. It's got more muscle than a gold duck. It's gotta be.
Interesting question. All right. Moving on to the Sinnoh region. The only one here, I believe, yes, the only one here says, with its extremely tough muscles, it can keep swimming in the Pacific Ocean without resting.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I guess that means it can keep swimming forever?
I mean, I think that's
Right?
maybe an exaggeration. I'm sure it's got to rest at some point. Everything,
Right?
every living thing has to rest.
I mean,
unless it's
at
like
the
a
very
Gengar.
least, it needs to eat. Right? I
Well,
mean, I guess
yeah.
it
Right.
could eat
Or breathe?
as it's swimming.
Eat on the go, fast food. You know what I mean?
Can it still breathe underwater?
I don't think it can breathe underwater, Mr. Curtis.
I mean, you used to live all of its time in the water.
It says a strong swimmer. This is from an entry from the Kanto region that we already read. It says a strong swimmer is faster than a human champ in the individual medley. Actually, I may have forgotten to say this last part because I was so focused on the individual medley part. It finishes by saying it can go far and fast with minimal breathing.
Oh,
Minimal breathing.
okay. Well, that.
Well, then it
answers
has
my
to.
question. Yeah, it has to
Yeah.
breathe.
Has to breathe. Lungs.
Gotta breathe.
It's got them.
Although, would you call something with gills breathing? Would that also be considered breathing? It just
Diffusing,
guess.
right?
taking the
guess technically,
oxygen from
but-
inside the water, right?
Well, it wouldn't say that if it could just breathe while it was swimming. You know what I mean? Like, it would only say that if it had to come up for
listen.
air.
Listen, you heard Mr. Curtis yelling at me after last lesson, all right? You don't want to assume anything from these Pokedex entries.
It's
That's
not
true,
explicitly
that's true.
laid out.
All right.
You can't rely on it.
Okay.
You can't rely on the source for all Pokemon knowledge.
My question though is, how does it deal with all the lactic acid buildup in its muscles?
That's a
I
good
mean,
question.
just-
It's going
it
to have
drains it.
constant use.
Constant
It drains
strain?
it from its body like the oils that it uses to stay moist.
Maybe.
Oh.
Although, I mean, again, it doesn't say anything about moist skin for Poliwrath. That was Poliwhirl.
That's true. That's
Moist
true.
skin or subtle undulations.
True.
Yeah,
True.
that's a Poliwhirl trait, not necessarily a Poliwrath trait.
Yep.
But let's continue reading here. That's all that we had for the Sinnoh region, and of course, there's nothing for the Unova and Kalos. I mean, there is entries for the Unova and Kalos regions. It's just that they're literally word for word repeats of the previous entries. So not worth my time, not worth your time.
No.
But what is worth our time is the Alola region, because they always try their best in the Alola region. That's what I love.
They
about
got something.
Yeah. All right, the first one says, Poliwrath and the Alola region are strong swimmers that use the breaststroke. Many children learn to swim by imitating Poliwrath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they'll see, like, Poliwrath out on the beach, just flying down the beach and just swimming super quickly, and they'll be like, oh, maybe if I do it the same, then I will also swim quickly.
And then the kids
Sorry.
try to run across the water too, like they see the Poliwrath doing, and it just doesn't
and they're
work.
like, Mom, look, I'm running on the water. But I mean, they're clearly underwater, and it's like, but as a mom, you have to be like, oh wow, that's so
yeah,
impressive.
you gotta entertain the little dork. Oh, you're doing great, Timmy.
The little dork, yeah. Nerd.
Idiot children, idiot kids. God,
Yeah, again, you are 10 years old there, Corbin, so you are one of those idiots.
I am, but I feel like I have the emotional maturity of a 40-year-old. You know.
I mean, this is a college level course, so you do have some kind of level of maturity that you're able to keep up
I
with.
would like to think that there's the cookies from last week. I think I might have to do a duty, Professor. I might have to do a poo-poo doo-doo. Oh, but yeah, I'll hold it for now. But yeah, I'm very.
No, he's a poo-poo doo-doo boy.
I'm gonna have to do a poo-poo doo-doo. But yeah, I'm very mature, Professor.
Clearly. All right, the next entry here from the Alola region says, its percentage of body fat is nearly 0. Its body is entirely muscle, which makes it heavy and forces its swimming prowess to develop. So this is kind of like a Torchic and the egg scenario, right? Like, which came first, the muscles or the swimming prowess?
Ooh.
Right, because if it's heavy, because it has a lot of muscles, it has to work harder to swim.
So wait,
But-
repeat that entry one more time.
Okay. Its percentage of body fat is nearly 0. Its body is entirely muscle, which makes it heavy and forces its swimming prowess to develop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying
if its
did
body is entirely muscle, obviously that's not true because it has eyes and a mouth and bones. So its body isn't entirely muscle. In fact, it literally says its percentage of body fat is nearly 0, which means that there is some body fat in there. So its body is not entirely muscle, but it's an exaggeration, which we love to have in our scientific articles here.
I know. You love it. It's so great for looking back on it years ago. You can't get a precise numeric, observation of Pokemon. It's all hyperbolic. It's all exaggerative.
You know how much I love numbers. I love them so much, but they rarely use them.
Numbers are a poor man's game. It's all about guesstimating in the Pokedex entries.
Guesstimating.
You want quantitative measurements? Pfft. Best I can do is qualitative.
That's right. That's right.
All right. The next entry here says it's quite a gifted swimmer, even among water-type Pokemon, but it normally spends its time on land.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And the last one here from the Alola region says the muscles it has developed through swimming are thick and powerful. When it lands a square punch, it can turn huge boulders to dust.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Wham
That's
bam.
impressive.
Now you're dust.
Damn. Imagine what it could do to a human's head. That'd be nuts.
But it never would because, Pokemon love humans. We work together in this
That's
world.
not always the case. Didn't we just... What Pokemon was it that it's like, even if you're in the area, it'll attack you? What was it? It was like...
What, Primate?
Primate.
Primate. Yeah, it won't stop it, so you're like dead.
Growlithe is also very territorial, but they'll just kind of bark. They don't really bite that much.
So that's not true, Professor. There are Pokemon that will eviscerate you.
Gladly.
Without
hesitation.
Nope.
All right, let's move
Part
on
of the reason why I don't work with scissors.
Well, you don't.
I know they all have a grudge against humans.
I
for
know.
some
I don't
reason.
like scissors either, Professor. You should probably keep those in your drawer, the ones that are on your desk right now.
Scissors, and don't worry, these are safety tips, so you couldn't even if you want. Ow, my hand!
Okay.
Ow!
Oh,
Damn
Professor!
It.
Oh, quick!
Jeez.
Here's some first aid kit.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna give me some of your Spinnerack web, but I guess I'm.
Well,
not good
it is
enough
a box full of Spinnerack web.
Oh,
So
it is literally. It's just
Yeah.
full of web.
Just
All right,
wrap it in
I'll
that.
wrap my hand up. Thank you. All right, let's move on to the Galar region entries. The first one says its body is solid muscle. When swimming through cold seas, Poliwrath uses its impressive arms to smash through drift ice and plow forward.
That is metal.
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of these entries talk about Poliwrath swimming through salt water or through sea, right?
Yeah.
But all of the entries for Poliwhirl and Politoad talk about how it is in fresh water, like lakes or ponds or rivers or creeks, right? I mean, I guess, it doesn't live in water, so that whole kind of distinction between salt water and fresh water isn't as important, but it's interesting.
Right.
I wonder when the transition occurs that, it starts to spend more of its time in salt water than it does in
Do we
fresh
know
water.
if Poliwhirl had gills and then Poliwrath doesn't, since Poliwhirl lived in water and Poliwrath lives on land?
I mean, I don't think any of them have gills. I think they all have lungs.
Okay, all right.
So
Let's go with
Poliwag,
that.
Poliwhirl, and Poliwrath.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I get it's not in the Pokédex entry, so I can't say for sure. But that's if I
would
had to
think it
give you
would
an
be.
educated guess, a theory, if you will, I would say that they all have lungs. I could dissect one in front of you if you want.
No, you know what? I don't even need to do
yes.
that. That's okay.
I'll get my scalpel.
Nope.
He's
Sit down.
ready.
No.
Mr. Curse is
no.
eager.
No.
All right, the last regional entry here says Poliwrath is skilled at both swimming and martial arts. It uses its well-trained arms to dish out powerful punches.
All right.
So I think like
trained fighter too.
like a karate, or you're thinking like a judo, maybe
Jiu-jitsu,
some Tai
or
Chi,
some Krav Maga, if you will.
some
yeah.
Krav Maga. Yeah,
Ooh.
this Poliwrath only does Krav Maga. It's out to kill. It will kill you.
It will. Yep. It will
Old school
art
go
of
for the
killing.
throat.
Old
Go
school
for the
gentleman's
throat.
boxing.
But it can't. It does bare knuckle, but it looks like it isn't bare knuckle because of its glove hands. But that is
Right,
technically
right.
bare knuckle boxing.
That is true.
Slap fights. It'll do slap fights.
Yep. It'll pinch you on the ear or something. That's rough.
Pillow fights. Yeah, it's a master of those.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure.
Should I move on?
Yeah. I think we've talked about.
Okay, all right. You know what? Yeah,
I
I'll move
think
on.
so.
All right, that does it for the regional entries. I have one unique entry here, which of course comes to us from Ash's Pokedex. It says Poliwrath, the Tadpole Pokemon. That's right. Poliwrath is still the Tadpole Pokemon.
Still?
Which I mean,
Are you
come
serious?
on. I don't think it's a Tadpole anymore. Poliwrath is an excellent swimmer, and its powerful muscles make its attacks extremely effective. Okay. All right, that does it for the Pokedex entries. Would anybody like to listen to a unsourced, uncredited article?
I
would
yeah.
love it,
You know what?
Professor.
I think I
Please-
would. I'd be fine with
please
that.
share.
Wow. A resounding yes I'm hearing, so I will go ahead and read it. Poliwrath is a blue bipedal Pokemon with a round body and muscular arms. It has bulbous eyes that protrude from the top of its head, and its belly is covered by a white and black swirl. There appear to be white gloves on its hands, and it has rounded, digitless feet. I mean, this is very similar to... It's almost exactly the same as Poliwhirl's, right?
Yeah.
It's very similar.
Told you.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Poliwrath's body is almost entirely muscle, and the muscles in its arms and legs never tire. It also has 0% body fat. That's incorrect. That is incorrect. It's
Nope.
nearly 0% body fat. All right.
Mark it wrong.
Mark it wrong. I'm taking points off.
Yep.
When it swims, it uses all of the muscles in its body and is able to swim vast distances with minimal breathing. It is even capable of briefly running on the water's surface. For whatever good that does it.
That's so epic, though.
It can also smash through ice and plow forward using its strong arms. Poliwrath is capable of outswimming even world-class swimmers. Poliwrath is also skilled at martial arts. It can launch some powerful square punches capable of crushing boulders into dust. Many children learn how to swim by replicating Poliwrath's movement. He is one of the most gifted swimmers of all water Pokemon. It goes on to say that being the result of an evolution via Evolution Stone, Poliwrath is rarely found in the wild. When found, it is usually seen living on dry land near water's edge, despite it being an excellent swimmer. In Alola, Poliwrath found are strong enough to use the breaststroke while swimming. I mean, all Poliwrath use the breaststroke. I don't know.
Yeah, all of them do. They have the whole medley.
Yeah, the whole medley, which includes the breaststroke.
Yes.
Right.
So, okay. Weird call out there, article. All right, so yeah, that does it for all the information that we have on Poliwrath. So I think it's time to test your knowledge and do a pop quiz. Who's ready?
All right. Woo-hoo! Yes. Let's
get
it
None of you
done.
are ready because I see your Pokedex entry. Your Pokedex is out. Get them out of here.
All right, let's close it.
I'm
close
gone.
it up.
They're gone.
All right. Don't bring out anything. Don't put a single thing on your desk. All right? I want you to send me the answers through your mind. No, you can bring out your Rotom laptop.
But how am I supposed to take my dictations if I can't have your
what? Oh, dictations. I'm sorry. What did I say? Zero. Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Nothing on the desk,
Nothing.
Mr. Curtis. Get it out of here.
I'm sorry.
Guys, I pranked you. That was a prank. You just got pranked.
You
Professor,
got me good, Professor.
You
so
of course
funny.
can bring out your Rotom laptops. Corbin's
can we just get the quiz on? Let's just get the quiz over with.
Okay.
Come on.
Question number 1. When in a lake or pond, will Poliwrath sink or float, and why? Okay, both of the answers are in. I'm going to read Corbin's first this time.
Yeah, that's new. That's new.
I know. Change of face. It will sink because it is naturally very heavy. So it had to learn to swim to stay up. Okay. Corbin, good answer. I'm going to ask you one question real quick.
Sure.
Why is it heavy?
Oh, because it's... Oh, should I write that down or should I say it out loud?
Just tell me right now.
Because it's basically all muscle.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That's all you had to say. And Mr. Curtis said sink because it's all muscle. So yes.
Okay.
Yes, you guys are both correct. It will sink because of its good muscles, and that's part of why it can swim so well, is because it had to learn to keep itself up.
That's right.
I think that's what the Pokedex says. Is a little bit unclear to the meaning behind that, but yes, it will sink. Yeah. Now it might not sink in salt water because the densities there will be a little bit different. It might be enough to keep it afloat, but I'm not sure.
Right.
Definitely though, in fresh water, it's gonna sink.
Oh yeah.
All right. Question number 2. In the water, who would win in a short distance race? Poliwrath, Golduck, or a human?
In a short distance race, huh?
In a short distance race. Okay, so the answers for question number 2 are in. So the question is, in the water, who would win in a short distance race? Poliwrath, Golduck, or human? Corbin responded with Golduck, and Mr. Curtis responded with Golduck would win out of the 3, because while Poliwrath will beat any human, Golduck is still the fastest of the swimmers. You are exactly correct.
Yes. You said it for me. There you go.
Until we get any kind of further information proving otherwise, we have to assume that the fastest Pokemon in the water is Golduck.
Yes.
Because of the Pokedex entries. So you guys are right. Golduck would beat
There's
Poliwrath.
Now, obviously more endurance with Poliwrath, but yes. Golduck takes the cake with speed.
Yes. All right. Question number 3. Where does Poliwrath spend most of its time? At your mom's house. Got him.
Hey, don't say that.
Okay. Both of the answers are in. Corbin responded with on land! Exclamation point, meaning, of course, he knows that it's the correct answer.
He knows.
Yes.
It's got to be the right answer.
It's got to be.
Exclamation mark.
And Mr. Curtis responded with on dry land where it lives. Yes, you're both correct.
Boom.
Because even though it is a exceptional swimmer, it spends most of its time on the land because I guess it likes the danger. I don't know.
It thrives in it.
It thrives. All right. Now, for the last question, this is an essay question.
Ready for my true and false? Oh, okay, never mind.
No. So make sure you take your time with it. Think about it. So the question is, and again, no right or wrong answers here. I'm just looking for what you guys come up with, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Poliwrath use almost identical swimming techniques as humans do. Meaning, like, the breaststroke, the freestyle, the backstroke, all those. So, assuming that this is not a coincidence, please come up with a theory for why this link exists. All right, I have both of the essay answers in. Let me read Corbin's first. Corbin says there are not many Poliwrath in the wild, and we know that they evolved from Poliwhirl to be land-dwelling Pokemon. Most Poliwrath have come about via Waterstone, most likely introduced by a trainer. Once evolving, they learn from humans how to swim, but because of their natural water-type aquatic nature and strength, Poliwrath exceeded humans in every capacity, perfecting their strokes, increasing their strength, and because they're water type, they became the ultimate swimmers. All right, so you have like kind of the student becomes the master kind of scenario.
Basically, yeah, that's the TLDR version of that. Yeah, they learned from humans. There wasn't very many of them. Waterstones, Poliwrath more than likely came about. Probably the early. I'm not going to sit here and say that humans were the first to discover Poliwrath or whatever. I'm sure Poliwrath existed beforehand, via Waterstone. But I think more of them came about once humans realized, they can evolve via Waterstone. And then once they were introduced, they tried to teach them how to swim since they're no longer aquatic dwelling. And after that, they basically just showed the humans up and said, "Hey, I'm gonna show you how to really do it." And
come along, my child.
That's
I will
right.
show you. I will now show you the new ways.
Student becomes the teacher. That's right.
The student becomes the master.
All right, let's see what Mr. Curtis says. By appearance, given Poliwrath's shape, using a human swim style would be less than ideal for Poliwrath. But Poliwrath is a very competitive, aggressive Pokemon, and it is by this very nature that Poliwrath intentionally uses the suboptimal methods used by humans. Poliwrath uses these inefficient modes of transportation to help it train to become more powerful by adding unnecessary strain and to show off even more as it takes a handicap and still defeats the best of human swimmers. Okay, I like that. That's a very good answer. So it's pride. It's a pride thing.
It's a competition reason. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It isn't even a competition, right? Humans suck. Humans can't even swim. Yeah, I like it. Hey, these are both very, very good answers. I will admit this was a little bit, I guess this is a little bit more of an abstract kind of essay question, but you guys took it and you ran, or swam.
No, we ran across the water with it.
You ran briefly on top of the water for a split second.
We sure did.
Great work all around, and you guys both got full marks on that entire quiz. I'm so proud.
Feels so good.
If I had more cookies, I would let you eat them now. Actually, I do have one more. Corbin, would you like to eat this cookie?
I've been holding off on cookies. No, I've been holding off on cookies for a minute. If you keep showing me cookies, I'm gonna
look at it.
I've had it.
Here, Mr. Curtis, could you please show Corbin what it's like to eat a delicious cookie?
I'm good. I don't need to see that, please. If I see another,
look at him go. Oh, he's really getting into it too. The bucket, Corbin, the bucket.
No, I'm good. It's subsided.
Right.
It's subsided.
Yes, that was.
All right, let's end this quick then. So that does it for Poliwrath. Does anybody know who we will be talking about next time? It's a complete change of pace.
I know this. It's Politoed. We're talking about
it's gotta be. It's Politoed.
No. For some reason, some of these do seem out of order. We are not talking about Politoed next, even though it is also an evolved form of Poliwhirl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just like when we talked about Gloom and Vileplume, we didn't talk about Bellossom. I think it has to do with when these Pokemon were discovered. They just kind of like threw them in there. I don't know. It is very interesting that they're not behind another. So we're not learning about Politoed next.
Give me a hint. What type is it?
It is a pure psychic type.
Is it?
Pure psychic.
Oh my God! Is it Abra?
We are learning about Abra next. Yes, very excellent job there, Corbin.
Gosh.
It's one of the psychiest
Psychedelic
psychic types. Abra.
All
I'm
right.
excited. Abra is a very, very interesting Pokemon, and I can't wait to talk about it. But of course, you know me. I would go on right now and start teaching you about Abra, but unfortunately, I must wait until next week. Until that time, if you have questions for me or for Mr. Curtis or for Corbin, you can ask me or them via Gengar Mail or Gmail if you want to use the shorthand for it. It's wwopokemon@gmail.com. And if you don't have a Gengar Mail, you can also find me on the bird Pokemon themed social network site, which is of course Twitter. You can find me there at wwopokemon as well. And if you really like this lesson, if you enjoyed learning about Poliwrath and you can't wait to learn about Abra, well, maybe spend the time by giving us a nice review on Flapple Podcast. It will help spread the word about how wonderful the world of Pokemon biology is, and it will, help me out as a professor. And
listen,
you all want to help out your professor.
And we decided last week if we hit 30 ratings, we're gonna have a field trip, and it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go to Mount Silver or something crazy, or we're gonna go on a cruise. I don't know.
It was decided that I would talk to the principal about that. Nothing was fully decided.
You need to give the students an incentive to review. I'm calling it now.
Well,
we're gonna do a field trip.
How does this incentivize them? They're virtual students. They wouldn't. They
get to hear about us having fun. So they're gonna have fun by default.
Everybody's favorite time to hear about somebody else having fun.
I mean, yeah.
They get to have fun vicariously.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I think we're still pretty far away from that happening. But you know what? Until next time, class is dismissed.
Oh God, I made it through the entire class without Curtis, why did you take your shoes off? Why did you take your shoes off? Where did you take them off?
Welcome to the World of Pokemon is a part of the Pokecasters Network.